We have Raquel from Brazil who attended a training, and when we were talking about puppets, she showed us this. And those of us that were with you, Raquel, we said, where do I get these? So I have this one and a few that are lost, not in translation, but in the mail. But we're going to get more. And so looking forward to getting mine, but I'm so happy I have this one. So thank you for being here. And I'm turning it over to you.
Hello, to me it's good afternoon, but I guess for most of you it's good morning. It's 2:16 p.m. here where I am, and I am so honored to be here. And one of the best things that happened to me during the pandemic was the opportunity to be part of the Karen's training, because it was a life and professionally changing experience to be with her and learn so much from her during that experience. And in one of our trainings, we were asked to present ourselves as a puppet. And immediately I got the puppet that I love to use in my consultations with the kids. That is this brain puppet. And I introduced myself at this brain puppet. And as soon as it was over, Karen was talking to me, please tell me where I can get that puppet. And ever since then, we've been talking about it. And she kindly invited me to be here today talking about it and presenting it to you. And let me tell you a little story about it. I am a Gestalt therapy here in Brazil. I see kids, teenagers, and adults. And I am also an EMDR therapist. So we work a lot with the neurobiology behind our emotional experiences. And that's how I got in touch with this brain puppet. Because this brain puppet, I use it to explain to the kids, and also mostly to the kids, but I also use it with any other clients or families that I see the need to do it, to explain how their brain works. And so they can understand and be fully aware of how they are working when they are reacting or thinking or feeling like they do when they live their experiences. And I mainly explain them two things. First, I got that from the Daniel Siegel's book, The Whole Brain Child, which is amazing. And when he talks about how we have the right side brain and the left side brain, and how the right side brain is the part of our brain that feels things, where it's abstract. Our emotions also are here. And sometimes when they do not talk with the left side, we are overwhelmed by our feelings. And the left side is our rational brain. It's where we think and give language to what we feel. So in this brain, we have holes here where I get from that part a symbol that may represent what happens there. And here, what I do with my kids is, when you are feeling overwhelmed, when you don't know exactly how you feel, but you have a lot of feelings and things are not working and you can think properly, what is happening to you is like a storm. You know, you can't see anything in front of you. You only see gray colors. You don't understand what is happening. But when you can understand, put a name to it, rationalize the experience, then the sun will come back, which is the part that I take out from the left side. And what we are trying to do here is to help you understand how you can do that in your experiences. And we talk about it. And the other theory that I use to help them is the theory about the triune brain, on how when we look on the side of our brain can be divided in three different parts. The back side of our brains works like a reptile. So here I have an alligator that represents that part. because I explained to the kids that is like that. The main purpose of our brain is to keep us safe, is to keep us protected. So they have like a little button that is always looking all around to see whether if we are in danger or if we're safe. And when it senses any kind of danger, the alligator comes out. And he doesn't think, he just feels danger and attacks so he can be protected, so he can be safe. And when we do that, we don't think, we don't feel, we just act or react. In the middle part of our brain is our mammalian brain, which is represented here by the heart, because it's where our limbic system lives. So is where we can understand our emotions and give sense and meaning to it. So this is the part of the brain that goes out and talks to the alligator, telling you can calm down. Everything's okay. We don't need you to react like that. Let's breathe. You can calm down. And how we know how to do that? Because we have the precortex, the precortex part of our brain that works like a computer. This is like where you get all the information and the computer is gonna work through everything and say, this is the solution we have for your problem. So in order for us to do right by the things that happens to us, what do we have to do? We have to put these three parts to talk with each other. This one is going to say, we're in danger. You need to react. This one's gonna say, okay, relax. Stop and sense what you're sensing. And while you do that, the computer is working on everything and doing the thinking that you need to understand what you have to do. When these three parts don't talk, or we just feel, or we just react, or we just think and things do not work through, we need them to be talking. I was talking to Karen when we were planning this conversation, and I was telling her that when I did this explanation to this little 10-year-old boy that I'm seeing after his father died by COVID, like 1.5 years ago, and every time he gets to the office, he gets this brand puppet and he sits down and he says, my alligator today, he's saying, da, 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 da. My heart is not working properly. I don't know what to do. So I have to turn on the computer. And he keeps on this whole session talking as if he was these three parts. And it's amazing because every time he gets, the first thing that he does when he enters my office is, where is the name is Dr. Hill. We gave this name to him, Dr. Hill. Where's Dr. Hill? We want to talk with him. And then he does this whole work through these different parts of his brain so he can integrate the experiences and attribute to it meanings that are helpful, that are more helpful to him. And in this way, he's being able to work through everything that he's been going through this whole year. I don't know if that makes sense, but this is my absolutely favorite. We have been doing a lot of work here with it, and all my students absolutely love it. All my kids absolutely love it. My children, my son and my daughter, are always going to my office to play with it too. And also I am playing with it all the time. It's amazing, and it has helped me a lot in my work with kids here in Brazil.
Amazing. If you take a look at the chat, you're going to get about 100 orders.
Amazing.
In the next 5 minutes. And so should you, oh, Catherine has a question. And any others who have questions. Catherine, your question is, Raquel, did you make it?
Oh no, this was a colleague that had a friend who did it, and she's not doing it anymore, but I have a friend who works with this kind of manual work, and I gave her my brain puppet and she's developing her own. So every time I need one, this friend of mine that does this work, and I order from her and send it to the people that asks for me.
Mhm, mhm. Okay, so should we put your uh email address? How do you want to do
Yeah,
this if people want
I'll
these?
put it on the chat.
Okay, all right. I know that
Oh,
there's
one
one.
other thing that I forgot to tell you is because with
Tell
the
me.
puppets, we
Yes.
put on this train because we are, I usually talk with the kid that we are going to take a trip through our brain so we can understand how it works and how it affects the way that we work in our relationship with ourselves and with the other people in our lives. And it's amazing. We can build a whole lot of possibilities around this train, around the different places that we get while we are taking this train ride. It is amazing. And this is also something that my friend puts inside the puppet so we can work to it with it. It is amazing.
Truly, truly. And I just can't help but get the image out of my mind of a runaway train.
Yes.
That's
Today, it's today's election day here in Brazil. So today we are in this kind of frantic ride with our trains.
oh my. Oh my, yes, that'll be the orders. Exactly, Catherine, runaway train. I know one's in Italy because when Gian Domenico was here in Los Angeles, and I know you now. You'll know how to use it because we sort of needed this explanation from you, which I so appreciate, and I can tell that we're all so appreciative.
Hi, everyone. Woo.
You got yours.
Good.
That's right. That's right.
It's so gratifying to see this being used from with anyone that can do it, right? If we don't have the puppets, we can build our own form of working with the brain with the same principles. It's
Yes.
amazing. But
Yes.
I put on my email on the chat, so anyone who's interested can send me an email and I can talk with this friend of mine and we can work a way for me to send it to you.
Okay, fantastic. That's great. Thank you so much. And we thought what we would do is an experience. What did we say, Raquel? Do you want to introduce it? With it, since we have the new puppets, we could use the old puppets too, but what did we say we were going to do?
When I was talking with Karen about the different parts of the triune brain, she came up with the idea that we could go into the breakout rooms, and with the online puppet app, we could choose which of those puppets would represent the 3 different parts of our brain and what would they say.
Yeah. So this won't be enough time to do it really properly, but still enough time, hopefully, to have fun. Sveta has you in groups of 3. So each one, that'll be 15 minutes. So that means 5 minutes per each person. Pick your puppets to go with each one and introduce yourselves and then move to the next person. And then we'll get to our next one. This is fabulous. I've been wanting this presentation for a long time, and I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's like with any of the media, any of the things that we do, it's how we present it. If it's too heady or if it's playful. Like I think the way Raquel presented it was very playful. And this son is very friendly, and you know, the alligator. I love this. Great.